Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear? Yeah. You guys done, some of you did not submit their corrections. Deadline is on Wednesday. So for the quiz, you can bring it on Wednesday because you can bring it on Friday because the last portion there will do it on Wednesday. So if you have not submitted correction for the exam, deadline is on Wednesday. Oh, okay, you can come for it after that. Any question on the homeworks? Did you guys finish some homework? Did you have any difficulty?
So I'm just spending time on the weekend.
Oh, you guys.
It's not usual.
Yeah, so actually. Any difficulty? Anything? Are we going very fast?
Yes. We're going very fast.
Very fast.
Yes.
Okay, so which section do you want me to?
Just let you know that it doesn't take much to know. So.
Yeah. So I always say I usually have my phone, and no one that's all. I have never seen it.
I would say on homework, my hardest one was probably perfect squares.
On context there.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say different. I would review it. Any questions? Any other? Okay, so if you have any question, I have my office hours every day, Monday to Friday, 1 from 12 to 1:5. So you can always come, or you can email, or you can even send a text. So I'm always there. Do you fear to come, or you guys are okay? Or you? What do you fear? I'm always there, so you come. Okay, so let's review section 6.3. 6.3.
6.3.
Yeah. 6.3. 6.3. Okay, let's review. So start from difference of square patterns. Difference of square patterns. So if we have, let's say, a square minus b square, a square minus b square. So to factor this is always a difference of two squares, a difference of two squares. So to factor this one, then since this one is a difference of two squares, then the two factors will be a minus b, a plus b, a minus b, a plus b. Okay, so for example, we did an example on, let's say, x squared minus 16, x squared minus 16. So you look at it to see whether you're able to get the square root of the two of them. Okay, so looking at the first value here, then it is x raised to 2. The second one, so x raised to 2. So it's similar to that, right? The second one is 4 raised to what? Raised to 2, right? So therefore, this will be our a, and this one will be our b. Okay? So the x will be our a, and our b will be what? Will be 4. Okay? So that means this will now be equals to x minus 4. X plus what? X plus 4. Are we together? X plus. Yes.
The one on the horn that got me. Trying to tell you the numbers. Oh, picture of the average down.
Okay, you want me to what that?
196 u squared minus 4.
196.
Yep.
196 u square minus 4.
I see it now where I'm wrong, but that example is. Can help.
Okay, so 196 is what? The square root of 196 is what?
Yeah.
The square root of 196. 14. So 14. The square root of 2 is, of u square is, so this is like 14 u square, right? Minus, this would be our 2 square, right? Our 2 square. So the whole of this 14u is what? A. The whole of this u is what? Oh. Okay. So therefore, this is equals to 14u minus 2. 14u plus what? Plus 2.
Okay, because then if you. It didn't want to. It's got 4 outside and then 7u minus 1, 7u plus 1.
Yeah, you
It's
can
the
do it.
same thing now.
Yeah, you can do it in the other way. You can actually factor out 4 then. So you can factor out 4. So when you factor out 4, then that is 4. 196 divided by 4 is
That's
49, right? 49u square minus what? Minus 1. Then you can factor what is inside here. So this is similar to 4. And then 49, the square root of 49 is what? 7. So 7u and then square here minus 1 what? Square. Minus 1 square. So this is similar to 4. This is our A and this one is our B. So 4, 7u minus 1, 7u plus what? Plus 1.
So they need to show the both have more answers.
Yeah, I don't know whether Newton will accept this one. If you do it like this, I think it will take it. I'm so sure it will. But you can still factor out, you get the greatest common factor outside first. If you feel like it's not simpler, but this one is also simple. This is also okay.
And you would accept both from an example?
Yeah, I will. I will.
Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
as long as you're doing the right thing. As long as you're doing the correct thing. Because this is also similar to this. It is also similar. It is also similar. Because here you can factor out 2 in each one of them. In this one, you need to factor out 2. You also need to factor out 2 here. So when you factor out 2 here, it will be 2 outside. When you factor out 2 here, it will be 2 outside. And then you multiply the 2 of them. It will be what? 4. So 4, 14u minus 2. Then 7u minus 1. And then 7u plus 1. Any other question? Okay. So that is a difference of squares. So that is a difference of squares. Now, if we have the perfect square trinomials. So if we have the perfect square trinomials, like let's say a square plus 2ab plus b square. A square plus 2ab plus b square. Then what is this? Now, this is a perfect square trinomial. Perfect square. So if this one is a perfect square, then this is similar to a plus b square. If we have a square minus 2ab plus b square, this is similar to a minus b square. A minus b square. If that one is perfect square. For example, we did an example on this. So we said if we have 9c square plus 42c plus 49. You need to check whether this one is a perfect square. Perfect square. So if you have the plus here, then that means this one is similar to what? The first one. Okay. So it is similar to the first one. So therefore, you need to check, look for A, look for B there. So to get our A here, what do you do? So this is similar to 3c square, right? Right? And then plus, to get our B, the last one, then it should be what? 7 square. 7 square. Now, 2 is constant. 2 is constant. Okay. And then we know our A is this. This is our A. This one is our B. So our A is what? 3c. Our B is what? 7. So we need to multiply to see whether we are going to get what? 42c. So 2 by 3 is what? 6. 6 by 7 is 42. And then this one is. Therefore, this one is our what? Perfect square trinomial. So that means it will be equals to what? It will be equals to, now our A is 3c. And because this one is plus, then it will be plus. Our B is what? 7. And then we do what? Square. So it is similar.
So I just have a general question as far as all this. An easy way to find the greatest common factor. Like when the numbers get bigger, do you just want us to do it the way that you had taught us on the exam? Or is there like a?
Yeah, if you have a very short way of doing it, yeah. Because in an exam, it will not be specific whether that one is a perfect square, whether that one is a, what do you call it? The perfect, yeah, perfect square, or the other one which we did before this one, the one for cube, the cubic square. So it will not be specific. So you need to know which.
Work it out the long way.
Yes, you need to work out the model. You need to work out the model. Now let's come to any question up to date. So if it is minus, then again, you need to check. If you find a minus here, so you need to check whether it is the next one. Okay, if it is a minus. Okay, the other one was the cubic. The cubic. So what did we say? We said if you have a cube plus b cube, then what was this? A cube minus b cube. What is this? So a cube plus b cube is what? A
Minus b.
minus b. A square plus what? AB plus what? B square. And this one is equals to A square minus AB plus B square. Okay. So this is constant. This is constant. It cannot change. This is a part. So if you have a cube, then you need to see whether it will give you number one or number two. So what was one of the examples that we did? What was the first example?
P minus q.
B minus
P, sorry, P. As a top.
P minus 2
Q
cube
minus.
minus
5.
125
Q. Q.
cube, right? So if we have something like that, so we need to check whether this is the first one or the second one. Should be the second one, right?
This is the second.
Which is this.
Oh, sorry.
So this is the first one and this one is the
Yeah, yeah.
second one there. So our A is what? This. So this is our A. What is our B? Our B is 5 cube, right? Right? So this is similar to that. So this is our B. So therefore, P minus 2 cube minus 5q cube is now equals to, we use the second one here, P minus 2 plus what? 5q. And then A is what? P minus 2 square minus our A is P minus 2, our B is 5q, and then plus our B is 5q square. So you can actually simplify, or you can leave it like this. You can simplify. You can leave it like this. If you have time, you can simplify. If you don't have any time, you can leave it there. Any other question? Any question? Now, are you able to do the homework? So if you have any issues, all right. So let's come to section 6.4. Section 6.4. Section 6.4. So how to factor polynomials? How do we factor the polynomials? So there is a general strategy for factoring the polynomial here. Factoring the polynomial. So number one is there any greatest common factor? So what you do is you look for the greatest common factor to see whether there is a greatest common factor there. Then you do what? You factorize. Then you factorize. Number two, is the polynomial a binomial, trinomial, or there are more than 3 terms? There are more than 3 terms. More than 3 terms. If it is a binomial, it is a sum of squares of cubes. If it is a binomial, is it a sum of squares or cubes? Is it a difference of squares or of cubes? So if it is a binomial. If it is a trinomial, is it of the form x squared plus bx plus c? Or is it a form ax squared plus bx plus c? If a and c are squares, check if it fits the trinomial square patterns. Use the trial and error or AC method. If it has more than 3 terms, use the grouping method. Okay, so these are actually what we have done. These are what we have really done. So you're given a very big polynomial. A polynomial is of the form, let's say ax squared plus bx plus c. This is still a polynomial, but this one is of dimension 1, 2. Polynomial also can be ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. That can also be a polynomial, but this one is of order 3. This is also a polynomial, but this one is of order 3. So we are not going to do anything of order 3. So we are just going to do for order 2. Yeah. For order 2. Order 3, you decide to do some maths. So there is a way of factoring this. Okay, now if it is a binomial, then is it of squares or of cubes? A binomial was of the form a square minus b square. Was it of this, or was it of a cube minus b cube? Was it of that? Was it of cube or was it of square? So that is a binomial. It has how many terms? There are 2 terms, by 2. Now, is it a difference of squares? So is it a difference of squares? Are you seeing whether is it a difference of squares? If it is not a difference of squares, then what next in that step? Now, if it's a trinomial, this is a trinomial. And we remember what we were doing about this trinomial. The trinomial x squared plus bx plus c. Is this one giving us a minus a plus b square? Is it giving us a plus b square? So if it is of this form, then we need to use the what? The AC method, which we use. We did not do the trial and error. So we need to use the AC method. If we have the A here, then you use the what? AC method. Or you should try it. Now, if it has more than 3 terms, if there are 4 of them, if there are 4 terms, then we now do what? We group them, and we did the grouping. You group according, if there are 4 terms, so you say group 2, 2, 2. So you group them. For example, so example number 1. Factor completely 15 PQ minus 15 P plus 12Q minus 12. So the very important thing that we need to do first there is number 1. So number 1 is saying we need to do factor the various common. We have the various common factor here. We have any factor we can factor out 3, right? So we can factor out 3. So that is the first thing. So number 1, factor out greatest common factor. So that is number 1. Factor out greatest common factor. And our greatest common factor here is what? Is 3. So we need to factor out. So 3. So what remains inside is what? 5PQ minus 5P plus 4PQ minus what? Minus 4. Minus 4. Now, is this a binomial? It is not. Is this a trinomial? No, it is not a trinomial. Are there more than 2 factors? More than 3 factors? So there are 4. So then you do what? You group them. So you need to group them. So again, number 2, the step number 2, use grouping method. Use the grouping method. So again, do not forget 3 there. So we need to group the 2 of them. So P5PQ minus 5P. We group that and that plus. Since this one is plus, it doesn't affect their 4Q minus 1 minus 4. Okay. Are we together? So since this one is not affected, this one is not affected. So it's still the same. Then now from there, then what is common in the first group and what is common in the second group? So again, do not forget for the outside. So the first group, what is common here? 5P. Then what remains is plus. What is common inside here? 4. What remains is Q minus 1. Then again 3. So here in the 2 of them, what is common? q minus 1. The next remaining one is what? 5p plus 1 plus 4. 5p. Any question? So we have factored that one complete. Yeah, factor that complete. Any question? Okay, now another example. If we are given again example 2 factor completely. If we have 7b squared plus 7b minus 42 factor that. So step number 1, we do what? Factor out that. Factor. So number 1. Factor our GCF. And our GCF is equals to 7. Or GCF is equals to 7. So 7 and then b squared plus what? Plus b minus what? Minus 6. Now, looking at that, step number 2. Is the polynomial a binomial, trinomial, or more than 3 terms? Is it more than 3 terms? No. So we cannot use grouping. So we cannot group that one. Now, it has 3 terms. Now, is it a binomial? It is not a binomial, right? There are 3 terms. So there are 1, 2, 3. These are trinomials. Now, is it a perfect square? So this is b square. Is this a perfect square? No, cannot get a square. Right? So therefore, we now use the AC method, right? So we now use the AC. So our A here is 1. Our C here is 6. So we now use the AC. So it is not a perfect square since 6 is not perfect. Like we cannot get the square root of 6. So 6 is like the square root is an integer or 2 point something, 2 or 3, 2 point something. Yes. Now, in this case, then we need to use the what? The AC method. Where we said for the AC method, we get 2 numbers in which the product is equals to AC, and in this case, it is what? Negative what? 6. So A is 1 here, C is negative 6. And our sum here is what? 1. Our sum is 1. So what are the 2 numbers in which the product is negative 6 and the sum is 1? 3 and 1? Negative 2, right? 3 and negative 2. So 3 and negative 2. So now when we come and write this one back, so we still retain 7 outside. So b squared plus 3b minus 2c minus 6, right? Right? So in this case, we have now formed more than, because, sorry, this is b, 2b. So 3b minus 2b is what? Is b, right? 3 multiplied by minus 2 is minus 6 minus 6. So you still get minus 6. So we can now group this one. So since we have more than 3, so we group this. So we group that and that. And then when we group this and this, what happens here? So we change this sign there. We change that side. So again, our 7 is outside. What are we going to factor here? B. So B plus what? 3. Minus, what are we going to factor here? What are we going to factor here? 2. B plus 3. B plus 3. So again, 7 remains. What is common here? B plus what? What remains is B minus 2. And that is the factor. It's the factor. So any question after that? Any question? Any questions? Okay, now. Now, if we have, let's say we have this, k raised to 4 minus 16. Factor this one complete. How is that? Now, number 1 is the greatest common factor that you can factor out. So it is not there, right? So number 2, is it a trinomial? No. Is it a binomial? Yeah. So it is a binomial, right? Is it a difference of 2 squares? Right. It is, right? Because this one is k squared, and this one is 4 squared. So k squared. So this is equals to k squared, and then you square this minus what? 4 squared. So this is our A, and this one is our B. Or A and B. So therefore, this is equals to k squared plus 4 k squared minus 4. K squared minus 4. Now, again, looking at the next one here. Look at this other one inside here. Are we still able to factor this? We are able to factor this one because this one is also a difference of squares. So are we able to factor this? Is this a difference of squares? Because this one is positive. So this is equals to k squared plus 4. Then we are able to factor this one. And this one is a difference of squares. So k plus 2, k minus what? K minus 2. K plus 2, k. We get.
So when it says like factor completely,
Yes.
just go as far down.
Yes. Any question after that? Now, if there is no question, then we can go to section 6.5a. Now, after factoring this one completely, then this is an expression. This is an expression. Now, when you put the equal sign, then it becomes a question. So if we put the equal sign there, so if we are given, if you're told to solve k squared minus 16 equals to 0, then what you need to do first is to factor this one completely. And we have done this. So we have factored k squared minus 4, k plus 2, k minus 2. And it is equals to what? So therefore, in this case, k squared plus 4 equals to 0, or k plus 2 equals to 0, or k minus 2 equals to what? Equals to 0. Equals to 0. So the values of k can be found here. So our k, in this case, k squared equals to minus 4. And our k here is the square root of minus 4. Or our k here equals to what? Minus 2. We take this one to the other side. Or our k equals to what? 2. So those are the values of our k. The values of k. Now, here, this brings us to what we call the zero product property. The zero product property. Where we say if A multiplied by B equals to 0, if A multiplied by B equals to 0, then A is equals to 0 or B is equals to 0. A is equals to 0 or B is equals to 0 or both. Wait together. So for example, A plus 2, A minus 5 is equals to 0. A minus 2, A plus 2, or A minus 5 equals to 0. So what means here? What do you mean here? So now using the zero product property, then A plus 2 equals to 0, or A minus 5 equals to what? Equals to 0. A minus 5 equals to 0. Now then, therefore, our A here equals to minus 2, and our A here is equals to what? 5. So therefore, our A equals to minus 2 or minus what? Or 5. Our A equals to minus 2. Yes?
Can you determine that the A, you switch this on?
So yeah, so using the zero property, so A plus 2 is equals to 0, or A minus 5 is equals to what? So you want to get the value of A. So our A will now be equal to exactly this side. So this is plus 2. When you take it here, it becomes minus. So again, A minus 5 equals to 0. So when you take this one here, it becomes so there, A is 2 minus 2, or A is equals to 5. So in usual, we're told to find the values of A, then our A is A2 minus 2, comma. Are we together? Any question? Now, another example. If you're told to solve 2w minus 7 square equals to 0, 2w minus 7 square equals to 0. So what do you mean? What do you mean? So this means 2w minus 7 multiplied by 2w minus 7 equals to what? Equals to 0, right? Right? So therefore, using the zero product property, then 2w minus 7 equals to 0, or 2w minus 7 equals to what? equals to 0. Okay. So then our W here will be equals to what? 7 over 2, or our W again equals to what? 7 over 2. So then that means our W equals to what? 7 all over 2. 7 all over 2. Are we together? Now, another example, if you're given Q here, 11Q plus 4 equals to 0. And then you're told to solve that. So using the zero product property, then in this case, our Q equals to 0, or 11Q plus 4 equals to what? Equals to 0, right? So therefore, our Q is 0, or Q equals to minus what? 4 over 11. So you take 4 to the other side, it becomes minus 4, and then you divide by 11. So in this case, our Q equals to 0, or minus 4 all over 1. All over 11. Any question? Okay, now, if we are given these to solve minus 9m cube minus 3m square minus 18m equals to 0. So how we do this? So first of all, we need to do factorize on that side completely, right? So we need to use the steps that we did. So the first step there is, what is the GCF of this? So greatest common factor here is what? First of all, greatest common factor is negative, right?
Correct.
The other one is what? Is it 3? Am I seeing 3 there? Right? So when you factor out negative 3 there, then what remains here is 3. And then there is another one here, which is what? M. There is another one, which is M. So what remains is 3m squared minus what? So plus what? 11m minus plus what? Plus 6 equals to 0. Now, looking at the inside, is that a trinomial or binomial? Is it a perfect trinomial? So we use that AC. So the product is what? AC equals to 18. B equals to 11. What are the two numbers in which the product is 18 and the sum is 11? Am I seeing 9 and 2? Right? 9 and 2. So therefore, minus 3m, 3m squared plus 9m plus 2m plus 6 equals to what? Equals to 0. So minus 3m, when you factor out here, you factor out what? 3m. What remains is m plus what? 3 plus you factor out 2, m plus 3 equals to what? Equals to 0. Again, minus 3m. The common factor here is m plus 3. What remains is 3m plus 2. And all these are equals to 0. So using the zero product property, then we have minus 3m equals to 0, or m plus 3 equals to 0, or 3m plus 2 equals to 0. So in this case, our m equals to 0, the other m is equals to minus 3, and the other m is equals to minus 2 over minus 2 over 3. Minus 2 over 3. Any questions? So if there is no question, we can meet on Wednesday and then we continue from there. We continue from there.